Peter Zalmayev, the director of the Eurasia Democracy Initiative. Thank you for joining us on the program. Zelensky will be going face-to-face with the Russian president, who is a seasoned politician and a hard negotiator. How important is it for the Ukrainian president, who, as we heard Elena Cassis say, is a political novice? Before he became president, he was a comedian who played the president on TV. How important is it for him to not be seen as giving any concessions to Moscow?
Well, it is important precisely for one of the reasons that you mentioned. There was a pretty sizable crowd on the streets of Kiev on Sunday. And even though I would say that that is a minority still, those are the folks that voted for President Poroshenko, who did not vote for Zelensky. And Zelensky can say that these are not his electorate. And even if they are, let's say, 25% of the electorate, they are the ones that are most motivated and are most suspicious of Mr. Zelensky as too weak and maybe not having, the question of national security as paramount in his mind as he meets with Putin. Well, that may be a caricature of Mr. Zelensky, and I will grant that. But, there is a legitimate concern that Zelensky, from the get-go, has shown tremendous and maybe I would say excessive eagerness to meet with Putin, was able and was willing to go far in his concessions to Putin, in return not really receiving an appropriate a give back from Putin. So there is a legitimate concern that Zelensky, in order to fulfill his promise, the promise that he made during the election to restore peace in the east of Ukraine, will be once again willing to go too far, and Putin will not do nearly enough and will get all that he wanted out of this meeting.
So does Zelensky have the most to lose, and does that actually put him in a weaker position than going into these negotiations?
I would say it is, because there is clear from all indications that there is also pressure from the Europeans. And, Mr. Macron, the organizer of this and the host of this meeting, is clearly also very interested in some kind of an outcome. And it seems that, his paramount goal is rapprochement with Putin's Russia in order to be able to tell his people, the big business, that, we're back to business as usual with Russia. There's, I believe, a serious interest on the part of the French to drop the sanctions in return from some kind of a frozen status of the Crimea. And all of these will be seen by a healthy size of the Ukrainian population as betraying Ukraine's interests and may lead to another Maidan on the streets of Kiev. And if that is the case, that scenario is also very much in the interest of Putin, who will be able to show once again, look, Ukraine is a failed state.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. Peter Zalmayev live in Kiev. Thank you for your time.